Greetings, Skill Incarnate bringing you all the latest indie gaming goodness. Welcome back as we check out another indie game. This time we're looking at Timberborn. This game is a 4X strategy game that was created by the guys at Mechanistry. Now I hadn't heard of Timberborn, it actually comes from a suggestion of my little buddy Mr. Bobbles, who's been watching his favourite YouTubers tackle this game. Now, after him begging for me to have a look at it myself, I reached out to the developers who've kindly gave me a copy of the game. We're going to check out the first part of the campaign, I'm going to give you some tips and tricks, and then Mr. Bobbles is going to do a base tour. Let's check out Timberborn. Timberborn takes place in an alternate version of Earth where the human race has been wiped out and a race of beavers is trying to survive a world in ruins. Now, our greatest enemy is not zombies or rival factions, it's the apocalyptic conditions of the world. Our goal is to try and propagate the species, find a way to survive this harsh environment, and hopefully build a colony that will stand the test of time. Now, speaking of which, this is a 4X game. We have the ability to slow and pause time, which I've done here, giving us the time and the ability to create some orders for our beavers to start working on. Now I'm going to chop these trees. Now one of the most useful tips I can give you in the early game is to make sure you're not cutting down all the trees. If you leave a few alive, those trees will regrow and they'll drop seeds that will spread and make it so that your forest will never run dry. Now later on we'll get some advanced methods of planting trees and we'll be able to create a renewable forest, but for now, the best idea for you in the early game, make sure you leave a few baby trees, unmark them, and that will ensure your forest will never completely run dry. Next thing we're going to do is to set up a path to our trees and a lumberjack post to begin cutting them down. Next we're going to set up a water pump down here, and this will start to get some water from the water source, which we can use to water our crops and quench the thirst of the beavers. More importantly, we're going to shunt that into storage via some water tanks, and these are very, very vital in the game. Water being very important, and more importantly, you do have seasons to worry about. So as the seasons progress, the environment will become more unforgiving, and that means that you want to try and have storage of food and water and housing and all sorts of stuff put away for those times of the year where things start to get a bit rough. Now everything in the game is done via paths, and you want to have these set up in advance. Here we've got another gatherer flag. This means these beavers are going to collect the berries here, and they're going to place them in here, and we're going to set up some storage as well. Like so. This storage is going to store the excess berries. And I'm going to also run another path so we can build some houses. Behind the town hall is fine. Now you probably noticed we've got 8 working beavers and 4 baby beavers. Over time the babies will grow and then they can start helping out too. Most importantly, you have to remember beavers don't live very long lives, so you need to make sure you're always trying to expand your colony. And you do this by building houses, and the beavers will form families or have children, and then the next generation will take over from the previous. You can see they're already starting to work. We've got one more thing I want to do, which is to clear this barrier. In doing this, we'll create a small dam for us. The water will flow in here, and then I can block it, and then we've got a little tiny water storage bay that we can then use when the drought season hits. Now, one thing that messed me up in the early game was I didn't build a research bay. And you always want to have that going as the highest priority, because research in this game is key. There are some very powerful technologies that will give you a huge leg up if you can get them done early on. In our case specifically, I'm wanting a forester. And that's a building that will allow me to plant trees. And planting trees will give me a renewable source of wood. Now the trees will grow back over time, but you can see we're already starting to strip the forest. These beavers need massive amounts of wood. And we're going to need all this wood. We're probably going to rip this all out too, and also some dead trees over here. I'm going to get to those in a bit. And we'll build over here and over here. Excellent. Looking good, looking good. Okay, so there are some more buildings I want to get going, but you do need to make sure you don't bite off more than you can chew. If I set up too much stuff to build, it's just going to take them too long. So for now, let's keep things simple. Let them finish the work they're working on, and we're going to set the storage as water. Because you can store a number of different things. You can store water, you can store fuel, you can store different drinks. And all of these things have different upsides and downsides and uses in the game. But in the early game, you want to just have a really big storage of water. So these guys are doing pretty good. We've got some progress happening. I'm going to speed up time a little bit because when the sun goes down, there's not much you can do except wait for daylight. These guys are going to be sleeping rough on the ground. At least until we can get some houses going. And you can see I've already got some food put away. We've got some water. There we go. We've got water pumping in. Looking good, looking good. Beautiful. And as you can see, the water pump, each of these buildings have their own very small limited storage. You don't want to rely on that. Obviously I'm secondary storage here for the berries. I'll get some farms going eventually once these are all built. Okay, farmhouses next. Beautiful. Then we can make some crops. Carrots on this side. And we're going to make taters on the other. Now these guys aren't going to be able to plant anything until the farmhouse is built. But right now we've got food, we've got water. We've got storage. You can see that little beaver's already starting to fill up the storage bay. We've got houses coming along. The forest's starting to... I mean, we probably are going to clear out this entire forest, so I've built a secondary path up here where we've got some dead trees. We're going to start hitting them next. When we run this dry. Actually, I'm probably going to... Let's do it now. Lumberjack flag here. Beautiful. So we've got you can see here we've already started to get water. Filling that up. And we're going to create a dam here to store even more water. this dam is going to block off this section of water here, and when the drought comes, we're gonna have this available to us. Beautiful. So we've got food, we've got water, we've got some wood coming in, if somewhat slowly. And nothing in range R. So we've got another problem here. This is outside the effective range. We need to build up a... Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a lumberjack bay. There we go. Now all this dead wood, you can't regrow wood on in a place where there's no water. You can see this ground is very dry, and later on we'll be able to terraform it somewhat. But for now, you want to do most of your agriculture and growing near the sea. So this is where I'm going to probably have my farm here, and my tree farm here, and then all of my buildings are going to go here. Okay. Now you can see wood's already starting to be a problem. The next thing I'm going to do is build a source of power. And that's going to go there. And this is basically a renewable source of power. It moves the power via a shaft. And we're going to use this to power our more advanced buildings, such as the lumber mill. The lumber mill, of course, is something we're going to need for creating the forester. So you do have to do a bit of forward planning in this game. Plan ahead. Make sure you know what you're going to need. Get your advanced buildings and your research squared away as soon as you start the game, because you're not going to have time down the track. By building a research building straight away, I've already amassed over 40 science points. The science points are used to upgrade your buildings and to unlock schematics, which we're going to be doing shortly. The one in particular I want is this forester here. We need another 17 science points, but you can see we're on the right track because the beavers are happy. And here you can see we've actually got two of the beavers have had children, and we've got families forming. We've got additional beavers that are being born, and that means our colony is going to grow. Now, while this is great, that also means more mouths to feed. So we're gonna food's gonna be a problem soon if I don't start moving on this. Now I'm going to chop these out because I am going to replace these. I might leave a few, just because I'm being paranoid. I'll leave a couple alive, just in case, because I'm going to replace this all. I'm going to create a giant tree farm here. Excellent. Now I made a little mistake here. You probably can tell what I've done wrong. I didn't mark these trees for cutting, so this guy's been sitting there doing nothing. Big mistake on my part, so let's get him cutting some trees down. That's why my wood's ground to a halt. We're going well, we're going well. Now we need to get this farm going, because even though I've got some nice storage of food, if we don't get, once we get that done, these berries are, we're going to pick them clean, so. So the wood is coming. It's coming along slowly. Now you can see there's a bit of a problem here. There's a long way to go, so I can cheat a bit and I can put another path in. And this is just to make things a bit easier on our beavers. He's walking all this way around when he doesn't have to. He could just go down here. Beautiful, beautiful. You can see here we could put another gathering post up here if we wanted to. There's more trees up here. But you have to remember that the further away we go, the longer the beavers have to travel to cart this stuff back. So I want to try and keep all my stuff centralized if I can. That's coming along nice. Got logs coming, things are going good. Things are going good. Let's speed time up again. Because there's not really much I can do right now. I just have to wait it out while the beavers do their thing. Beautiful. So we've got a farm going. You see the beavers, they're planting the crops we need. I'm probably going to need more than this. I'm just thinking maybe I should have expanded them a bit further. That's easy done. Get those down there. Beautiful. Now you might think I'm overdoing it, but trust me, you can never have enough supplies. You always want to be building more and more and more. Speaking of which, we've got another warehouse on the go. And these dead trees are nearly cleared out. This guy can start chopping here as well. Not too stressed right now. By the time we get this all working, I should have a way to build a renewable source of trees. So next order of business is the lumber mill, for which we will require... Oh, I just realised I've made a mistake here. A very silly mistake. I can fix this easy enough though. I can... Let's just remove... that, and then I can build a path here. Be quick and dirty, but there we go. So speed things up again. Now you can see we've got, we nearly cleared out all the berries. And that would normally be a problem, but by the time we've eaten all our way through the stocks, we'll have fresh carrots and fresh potatoes ready to go. So no one's going to starve, no one's going to die. I've also got berries up here, so I'm not too stressed. Wood might be a problem, because wood does take a while to grow. You may need to hit this spot down here. Chop these trees, but that's okay. Even if we kill all the trees, as long as I leave a couple alive, then they will come back over time. So just don't get greedy. Make sure you leave a few alive. Don't cut down everything. In this case, I've got 3 or 4 here. Leave one there. This is good. Now, I've gotten past our first week. Hallelujah, we have power. So once we set up these intersections and our lumber mill, we can start working on the forester. And you can see here I've got a lot of research points, so let's spend some on the forester. And we're going to build it right here. And then all of this is going to be trees. I'm going to replant the whole lot. Okay, we've got stuff going. We're doing well. We're doing well here. Okay, so building needs power. It's not connected. Wish these guys had fixed that, but that's okay. We can cheat. Build an alternate path over here. Like so. Looking good. Looking good. So now we just need some planks and we need to build our forester. Once this cranks out enough wood, we'll be able to build the forester, and we can set this to store taters. Because the carrots are going to get eaten up first. You do need to prepare the potatoes. You can't just eat them as they are. And we're going to need a special building for that. But right now I'm trying to save the wood. I don't have a lot. You need to try and limit what you build at a time to give your workforce a chance. Because if you set 100 buildings out to build, it will just take too long. You set some tasks, you build some buildings, get them up and running, and then you work on the next set. Speaking of buildings, we need some more water storage. Actually, we've got a dam, but it probably wouldn't hurt to have some more storage because you just never have enough water. Looking good, looking good. And got a grill. That's going to be for grilling our taters, so we can select the recipe to be grilled potatoes. And we need 25 logs for that. That's going to be pretty expensive. Okay, so our colony is coming along quite well. We've got some supplies. We got wood. This is slowly cranking out what we need. There we go. 5 more planks. So let's speed things up a bit. You can see the dead trees are already starting to empty out, so I'm going to mark some of these for chopping. Again, leave some alive. Don't chop everything down. And we've got our first crop already, so they're banging out carrots. Just on time too, look at that. Out of berries. So we're literally out of food. Just in time, just in time. Okay, looking good. Yes, and finally our forester. Okay, so what we're going to do is running low on beavers. We don't have enough people doing what they need to do, so let's plant some pine trees up in here. You can see, not a moment too soon. Not a moment too soon. There we go. So they're going to grow those trees. And don't worry about the loose ones. As they cut those down, I'll replace them as well. We're okay for wood. So our beavers are happier. You can see here, once we get to our full population goals, we've got access to the Iron Teeth, which are the industrialized Beaver faction. There are 2 factions in the game at the moment. We are using the Folktales. They specialize in farming and agriculture, whereas the Iron Teeth are an industrialized race. They will use giant cities of steel, and they also specialize in genetic engineering as well. So even though they are far more technically advanced, they come with their own unique set of challenges too. So now I've got a bit of a surplus. I can build a dam, and this is essentially going to prevent water from escaping. Let's build this way. Now this is probably not going to get done before the drought. But even if the drought does hit, I've got a little bit of water here, and I've got some storage as well. So we just have to ride out the drought. It might be hard, because as you can see, we're kind of... things are kind of hectic at the moment. We've gotten just enough food to get by. I think I kind of left that a little too close for comfort. I probably should have built the farm before I did anything else, but doesn't matter. So let's speed things up once more. And there we go. Our crops are coming in. Now, unfortunately, we are at our limit for workers. I'm waiting for more to become available. And you can see here the beavers are growing, so I'm going to build some even more houses. Didn't realise we're actually at capacity now with 12 adults, which is great. Unfortunately, we've just about hit the limit for trees. We've cut nearly everything down except for this tiny patch here. And it is going to take, let's see how long, 12 days. We've got a whopping 12 days before our next batch of trees grow. So we are going to have to get cutting here. There's not much I can do right now. I have to cut these trees down. I want to save them for later, but again, not a big deal. We just leave a few out of the cull. Beautiful. And as you can see, oh, here we go. Our first crop of taters. Now, because I can't cook these yet, so we're just going to put them in storage. You can see here, got a big storage bay. So anything I can't use right now will go into storage for later on. We don't have to worry about crops rotting, thankfully. We just have to worry about keeping up the supply to keep our boys fed. So things are going well. We've got new trees, we've got crops, we've got wood coming in, we've got rudimentary power system. We've got some planks. You can see here we've got plenty of power. Let's see what else we can unlock for now. Actually, the next thing I want to unlock is stairs. Okay, stairs. Now, you might think that's a silly thing to unlock, but by doing this, we can build staircases and get access to more resources. Such as these here, more trees. So what I can do over here is build a staircase. So I'm thinking of building one here and one here. And that's going to let me, I mean, I could technically climb across the dam. Actually, that's probably not worth it. Because once they build the dam, this actually also acts as a gangway, allowing them to climb across. What I can do is build one here. So let's do that. Now I've got a bit of a warning. In 3 days, the drought comes. Now unfortunately you can see here I'm not going to have enough resources to complete the dam before the drought, but we do have this, thankfully. So we're not going to run out of water, and we've got a fair bit of storage. I'm actually going to, because the drought's coming, let's build some more. I want more storage. There we go. Now people are a bit hungry. Oh, now this is a problem because these guys can't process the taters. We don't have enough. Now I don't have anyone to work on this. And we do have someone with broken teeth. So that's another problem we're going to need to fix. We have got carrots coming in, but they're not enough. Not enough. So what we can do is we can fix that by, of course, planting more. And I'm thinking of actually shrinking our potato crop, but let's see how this goes for now. And we're going to go to well-being, and we're going to build, because one of our boys has broken teeth, so we can fix that with a grinder. Don't try this at home, kids. He's going to grind his teeth down. And that should hopefully fix his little medical emergency. There we go. The carrots are coming in. The potatoes are coming in now. We've got some berries coming as well, very slowly. We can mark these for collection too. Actually, I probably will do that. So what I can do is get a path going to here. And set that up. So that will alleviate our food problem for the short term. We've got a bunch of starving beavers though, and I may have been a bit too slow on the draw to get the farm going. Okay. So now we've got everything done. We've got a city, we've got some water storage, we've got food. We've got a bunch of happy beavers, and hopefully we are prepared for the first drought. Now I'm going to leave it here because Mr. Bobbles has a base tour he wants to do. He's gotten a bit further in the game than me. He's made it past the drought, and his city is definitely a lot bigger and more developed than mine. So over to you, Mr. Bobbles.
Hello, I'm Mr. Bubbles, and this is my city in Timberborn. Over here we've got some chopped trees, which I had when it was starting off. I've got an unfinished dam, which will help me collect lots of water and store it for the drought. I've got paths so that we can cross over once it's done, and cut more trees down with these forester flags. I've also got a massive carrot farm and 5 3-person homes, which can hold up to 15 people in total. And I'm currently at a population of 12 with 10 adults, which can work, and the 2 children, which can't. This is my inventor. He gets research points for me to unlock new things. And right now I have 4 small tanks for water and 3 small water pumps. I'm going to build 8 small tanks to hold even more water for drought, as my carrots keep drying out. I have, as I call it, the Wheel of Shame, where you can find a beaver running in it shamefully all day. It spins the cogs and powers the lumber mill. And I have foresters to grow trees and stairs. Bye.